crazy how everybody say, oh, well, he don't even have a title yet. And now that I got a title, now there's another excuse. So it seems like it's excuses after excuses after excuses. Now he's not worried about me. I honestly believe, when it comes down to him, and deep down in his heart, he know what he's up against when he go up against me.
Do you think he's protecting himself and protecting his record, protecting that zero, and that's why he doesn't want to step in there because he knows what type of fighter you are?
A little bit. That has something to do with a little bit, but at the same time, I just think he thinking the big picture. Like, if I take a chance like this, I need to be getting paid as much money as possible, just in case if I lose. He's talking about he want to fight this guy and fight this guy, so he's going to be the A side, He don't want a 50-50 fight. Well, that just lets you know right now he's not 100% confident in his own abilities. He can say what he wants. The casual fans can say what they want. But me, if I'm confident in my abilities, I'm like, okay, we can do it. It don't matter if it's 50-50 or not. I know I'm going to win, so I don't have nothing to lose.
What is your message to Errol Spence?
Man, I just tell him, take off them panties and pull his pants up and sign a contract.
Breaking news of Errol Spence finally responding to Terence Crawford and the fake tweet news. EJ stated, quote, "Social media era takes your silence for weakness. Shark, middle fingers up emoji, hashtag no more hiccups, hashtag line them up, and I'ma knock him down like bowling pin emoji." With that being stated, for the people that may wonder, what exactly Errol Spence is referring to? Well, let me fill you guys in on how we got here today. What's been circling around all over social media. First of all, with fans like Errol Spence fans, who needs enemies? I mean, Errol Spence just want to be left alone. He's over here training. Meanwhile, his fans are making up all of these narratives to why EJ haven't fought Bud Crawford yet. And since Crawford have been calling out EJ heavy as of late, his fans felt the need to make a fake tweet since they ran out of narratives to make to why EJ haven't responded to Crawford calling him out, nor to why the fight haven't taken place to this day. It all started when Crawford crossed the street, then went on Instagram to call Errol Spence out. Crawford also requested the IBF to make him Errol Spence mandatory at 147. 2 days later, Errol Spence supposedly responded with a tweet that stated, quote, "Talking all that shit on social media but won't answer the phone. Laughing emojis, red flags." Now, first of all, Errol Spence don't even talk like that. Second of all, you don't see any retweets, and when you go to Errol Spence Twitter, you can't find the tweet anywhere. Now, don't get me wrong, if the tweet is real, EJ could have easily posted it and deleted it. However, if it was true, why would Errol Spence delete it? More importantly, I know Errol Spence is not going to lie about it, because Terence Crawford responded to the news by directly questioning Errol Spence, stating, quote, "Errol Spence, you lying saying you called me, ? Don't do that. That's a bad look when you lie to the people." On another tweet, Crawford said, "Okay, definitely fake." Errol Spence never responded, so most likely the tweet is fake. That's when EJ went on his IG today stating, quote, "Social media era take your silence for weakness." So now that you all caught up, let's get straight to the business at hand. Like I said before, with fans like Errol Spence, who needs enemies? I mean, you see Errol Spence trying his best to fly under the radar, while Terence Crawford is calling him out super heavy. You see EJ training, he just wants to be left alone. Meanwhile, his fans felt the need to make a fake tweet in order to defend Errol Spence. However, it backfired because they ended up applying more pressure on Errol Spence instead. The pressure is piling up on Errol Spence to take the Terence Crawford fight ever since he crossed the street. If not next, at least sometimes during later 2022. This fight have been long overdue. Both Crawford and EJ are the final two. You also have Ugas in the mix as well, however he's occupied with the whole WBA mess at the moment in time. Meanwhile, both Crawford and EJ are available to fight. Now, we know Errol Spence is coming off an eye surgery. Nevertheless, it was Errol Spence who said that he wants no tune-ups. You either can swim in the deep waters or drown. So EJ let it be known, it's still strap season, where he stated that tune-ups are for people that are not sure of themselves. Now, if that's the case, we know Ugas is occupied, which only leaves Crawford in the mix. We have seen Errol Spence be in a car accident and survive in a miracle way, then come back right away to fight Danny Garcia. Therefore, it's not outside of the ordinary for Errol Spence to come back right after the eye surgery to fight Crawford next. However, Crawford is not Danny Garcia. We talking about boxing pound for pound #1 here. We talking about the best finisher in the game. One of the hardest punchers pound for pound. The smoke himself, Bud Crawford. And Errol Spence ain't no fool. He knows that. I remember when Errol Spence checked Ray Flores for stating that Danny Garcia have been calling him out for years.
Danny, you've been calling out Errol Spence for over 2 years now. Now that we are just 3 days away until you have that opportunity to go ahead and become the first blemish on Errol Spence's dossier, what's going through your mind?
Hey, hold on. We got to start with the cat because nobody called me out for 2 years. Ain't nobody in boxing been calling me out for 2 years. He did call me out. That was a year ago, but nobody been calling me out for 2 years.
Yeah, I never been a fighter to chase fighters anyway because I feel like I'm the fighter, but I definitely did call him out a year ago, well, a little less than a year ago. And the fight was supposed to happen in January. It didn't happen. But, you know, like I said, boxing is a sport of timing, and the time is now.
Free smoke, Junior. They don't know what time it is.
T-Bug Crawford.
Yeah. Everybody know who the champ is at 147, who the king is. And he too small. He's too small. He little. He light in the ass.
Hey, look.
Ain't
nobody say Floyd was lighting in the ass.
He's light in the ass. He's not Floyd.
Hey, I told you I was going to pull up on Spence.
Hey, you was really
Hey, look.
I love it.
Hey, look.
I love it.
I told him I wasn't that worried.
Free smoke.
I told him I wasn't that worried.
Hey,
This ain't no Keith Thurman shit. That's why we be scared and shit.
Obviously, we all know Errol Spence was the boogeyman at the time, and Danny Garcia was not calling him out for years. So what EJ said about Danny Garcia was 100% accurate. They were all avoiding Errol Spence. However, the statement overall wasn't true. Errol Spence said nobody was calling me out for years. But we all know Terence Crawford did. More than 3 years ago, Terence Crawford off the bat, as soon as he moved up to the welterweight division, he called out the boogeyman Errol Spence, the one they were all afraid of. But Crawford was the only one who wanted the smoke. Therefore, if Errol Spence was not interested in the Crawford fight while he was active, remember, he told Crawford when they met face to face, why wouldn't I go the easy road and knock Porter out first?
A couple months ago, he said, what'd he say? It's going to happen end of 2019. Did you not say that? That's what your promoter said.
This is what I'm saying.
I read it all.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I read it all too. Terence Crawford, wait till he get a belt.
Yeah.
He ain't did nothing in the welterweight division.
You
When he
have
get
did
a belt,
nothing.
you want to
You
go
have
over
did
there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so
Okay.
That
Sean
makes
Porter got a
sense.
belt too.
So now
Sean
this-
Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why am I go to easy road and knock Sean Porter out? Why wouldn't I?
Look at this dude.
Why wouldn't I?
You a smart man, but not that smart.
Bro, I'm gonna crush you.
Therefore, I doubt Errol Spence would want to fight Crawford now, coming off a layoff and an eye surgery. Nevertheless, the fight still has to happen. If not next, at the very least, after a tune-up fight for Errol Spence in later 2022. But that's not to say negotiations shouldn't start now. In fact, they should. If Errol Spence is really not avoiding Terence Crawford, then he should have no problem sitting down to negotiate a fight for later 2022. A similar deal to Andre Ward versus Kovalev, where they agreed to fight after 2 tune-ups. Just like Cotto and Canelo, just like Gennady Golovkin and Canelo, just like Anthony Joshua and Klitschko. They all had similar deals. So both Crawford and Errol Spence could negotiate a contract to where if they successful in May, in their tune-up bouts, the winners could structure a deal to fight in September. Maybe Crawford versus Keith Thurman and Errol Spence versus Ugas in May. That way, it could be structured like a tournament. Last but not least, for the fanboys that use the oldest, dustiest excuse in the book by always flooding the comment section with, well, Errol Spence told Crawford, take 60-40 split. First of all, show me an offer that was sent by Errol Spence to Terence Crawford, because shortly after, that went from 60-40 to 70-30, then 80-20. Like I said before, you do not negotiate a split publicly. Only a dummy will agree to a split like that publicly. That's not how business works. You have to go into negotiations in order to establish a split, because whatever you agree to publicly, you're only lowballing yourself, since that's exactly what you start in negotiations with. So only a fool will agree to a public split, and Crawford is not a fool. Crawford may as well take a 60-40 split. However, it has to be during negotiations, on pen and paper, not publicly. In fact, Crawford told TMZ years ago, "I don't care if I'm the A side. I don't care if I get the bigger split. I just want to fight." You don't hear me tell Errol Spence, "Errol, you better take a 60-40 split or leave it." See, at the end of the day, or at least the night, that's duck talk. That's what T.O. told Tank and Devin Haney in order to avoid them, so on and so forth. I mean, we never seen Errol Spence tell Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, so on and so forth, take a 60-40 split or leave it. Mind you, Errol Spence was without a doubt the A-side over Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, way more than he is over Terence Crawford. I mean, Danny Garcia had nothing to offer, in fact. But Errol Spence never said you better take a 60-40 split or leave it. However, would you believe Errol Spence told Terence Crawford to take a 60-40 split or leave it back in 2018, before he even fought a Sean Porter or even a Mikey Garcia. Therefore, we all know what time it is. That's why Terence Crawford is the pound-for-pound number one and the boogeyman at the same damn time. That's a world record. The last person I can recall with them credentials was Pretty Boy Floyd. So we shall see if Errol Spence is going to eventually take the challenge. With the facts being laid out, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Op TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.
Free smoke, Junior. They don't know what time it is.
T-Bug Crawford.
Yeah. Everybody know who the champ is at 147, who the king is. And he too small. He's too small. He little. He light in the ass.
Hey, look.
Ain't
nobody say Floyd was lighting in the ass.
He's light in the ass. He's not Floyd.
Hey, I told you I was going to pull up on Spence.
Hey, you was really already know.
Hey, look.
I love it.
Hey, look.
I love it.
I told him about what that was.
Free smoke.
I told him about what that was.
Hey,
This ain't no Keith Thurman shit. That's why we be scared and shit.